Hi, everybody. Welcome. We're going to talk about October astrology. I'm Natha Perkins. Before we get started, a reminder that if any of you listen to these words and you feel like they resonate and you want deeper insight, personal insight, you can book an astrology reading with me. My October books are open and there are still spots and they do fill up quickly. And I'm not just saying that, they really do fill up quickly. So if you want to get on the books and get a reading quickly, check out electroastrology.com. And then also, if you haven't been listening to Star Narratives, the podcast, there are some great interviews, including a few that are being released this month. I'm releasing a new one every week. We're talking about spiritual navigation tools. We all need those right now. All right, well, let's talk about the astrology of this month. This is crazy astrology because we do have eclipse season. We have Mercury entering Libra, we have Venus entering Virgo, and we have Mars entering Scorpio. So all three of those are going to bring up energetic shifts in their own right. In the case of Mercury, this is the mind. So Mercury has been in the sign of Virgo for a while because it went retrograde in Virgo. Mercury in Virgo is helping you have a deeper understanding of the way that your mind works and the things that come into your mind and the way that your mind pushes you to do things that maybe aren't important. Virgo teaches us about busyness and that busyness is not always the way to go, even though culturally we are taught that being busy is quite the goal. We have Venus entering Virgo. Venus has been in the sign of Leo all summer. Venus is finally clearing the shadow from that Leo-Venus retrograde. And Venus is about your values, your money, your relationships, your self-worth. So take stock of what you have learned about those things. What was shown to you about your finances, about your relationships, about who you are and how you show up in your life, in your own relationship with yourself and your relationship with others. And are you seeing yourself clearly? Because those are the questions that I'm hoping you can answer, or at least begin to answer, as Venus changes signs and brings in this whole new Libra energy, which is like, let's get into relationships and make them better, make them so that they feel better, so that we are relating to one another differently. And that is what leads us into eclipse season, because our first eclipse is going to be on the 21st. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Before we do that, we have Pluto stationing direct on the 11th. You're going to start to feel this about a week before the 11th. Pluto is stationing direct, and Pluto is always showing us our shadows. Pluto is in the final degrees here of Capricorn. This is our shadow as it relates to the governing bodies, the rulers, the people and the institutions that are holding the power. The question is, how do you relate? Do you give them your power, or are you taking your power back? And that is a very nuanced question that has answers that maybe aren't very clear, because when we think about power and control, we think about it as somebody is dominating me using force or using anger or using fear. But a lot of what we can find when we start looking is that we allow ourselves to be controlled by being told what to buy, being told what makes us beautiful, being told the kind of life that we need to live. So these are questions that are up for review in a very big way. Pluto is not going to officially leave Capricorn until the end of 2024. So we're going to be going back and forth. But as Pluto is now stationing to go direct, will eventually find its way back into Aquarius. And that's where we find that energy of revolution and rebellion. So what is it that you need to rebel against? It could be some powerful force that is strong arming you into what to do, or it could be the fact that there are people, groups, media, all of this that are telling you what to do through subtle advertising and messaging. And then the question becomes, am I still interested in giving them my power? On the 11th, Mars enters Scorpio. Now, Mars has been taking its sweet time traveling through the sign of Libra. Mars also made a conjunction with the South Node. So Mars has really been struggling. Mars does not like to be in Libra. And Mars meeting with the South Node also brings up all sorts of illusion and distortion. But as Mars enters Scorpio, Mars is finally getting strong again. Mars is the traditional ruler of Scorpio. And this is where you get to take everything that you've learned about power, about powerlessness, at least so far, and apply it. Where do you need more power? Where are you giving it away? Mars in Scorpio is going to help you figure out where to focus so that you can begin making the changes that you know you need to make. Now, speaking of changes, we have eclipses. The first eclipse is a new moon in Libra. It's on the 21st. This is a new moon south node eclipse in the sign of Libra. This is just bringing up all of that Libra relationship stuff. So looking where you are out of balance, where things are not just, things are not fair. Your relationships are based on something that isn't real. You're being too nice. You're being too gossipy. You're not saying what is true for you. You're not wanting to rock the boat. You're too concerned with being beautiful as opposed to being real, right? These are all Libra things. With the South Node moving through Libra for the next 16 months, we're looking at the illusion of Libra things, and those are Venus things. So again, it brings in this question of like, what is really valuable? Are you only valuable if you make a couple $1 million a year? Are you only valuable if you're a size 0? What about integrity? What about being a good person? What about having compassion and empathy? Those, as we all know, are far more important than the size of your pants or the color of your hair, the amount of money that you make. Because we had the North Node moving through the sign of Taurus over the last 18 months, and now the South Node is in the sign of Libra, we are looking at Venus themes all over the place. So getting really clear on what is actually valuable is so incredibly important. The illusion, all of this stuff that the powers that be have been trying to sell us, really keeping us down. If you are awake and aware, then you want to take your power back from all of that. All right, on the 23rd, the sun is going to enter the sign of Scorpio. We all know that when the sun changes signs, this gives us a big energetic shift as well. And Scorpio is where we are asked to go deep. Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio, the modern ruler. Mars is the traditional. But Pluto, as the modern ruler of Scorpio, is always about showing us our shadow, which is why when the sun is in Scorpio, we have Halloween, we have the Day of the Dead, we have these holidays that celebrate things that are darker in nature. We have to understand our own dark nature, including the things that make us feel terrible or the secrets that we haven't figured out, etc. And we end this month with a full moon eclipse in the sign of Taurus. That means the sun is in Scorpio and the moon is in Taurus. We had a Taurus Scorpio eclipse in April. So you can look back to April, get a sense of what themes you were dealing with, because those themes will resurface. And because we did have 18 months of the nodes in Taurus and Scorpio, we are looking at those themes. The Taurus, what I have, what I can create, what is truly valuable. And the Scorpio, the lack, what I feel that I don't have. And what I feel is valuable, but is actually meaningless. Lots of things to think about. I suggest that you get out your journal, that you pay attention to your dreams, and that you become as awake and aware as possible to your process, because that is how we spiritually awaken. All right, I hope you have a wonderful month. I will talk to you next month. Bye.